guys.
Hello.
What was that goal?
I don't know.
In case you guys don't know, but just before the stream started, I'm telling everybody, okay, I'm going to put you guys out of the stream. We're going to start, and then I'm going to put you into the stream. And Cole didn't pay attention. What?
I did.
Oh, well. So anyway, we have a special guest today, and we have a bunch of our usual girls. So how about we start off right away? What do you think, hun?
Just jump right into it.
All right, then. So our special guest today is Amanda. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
You're great.
Very. Can you introduce yourself
glad to hear
for anyone who doesn't know who you are?
Even though we
Sure.
think that everybody knows at this point in the fandom.
My name is Amanda Maud, and I'm an actor, and I was in Justice League, and I was not in the theatrical release. So when Zack Snyder's Justice League came out on the 18th, over here, it was on the 18th, I tweeted, does anyone know if I'm in the movie? And my life changed forevermore after that.
Yeah.
I now have like thousands of friends. Go ahead.
But that's good, no?
Oh,
Here's
thank
some
you,
message
Philip.
for you.
I really didn't know if I was in it or not, and I had never seen it. And the footage, it was Warner Brothers, so you can't really just call up Warner Brothers and say, "Hi, can I see my scene?" So, thank you everyone for keeping me informed and sending me stuff and inviting me to be on your show.
Well, we're happy to have you because we've got, some cool stuff planned for today's show, which is mostly
Cool.
talk because we like to talk. And speaking of fandom and speaking of talking, we have two more girls to come join us right now. We have Rachel.
Hi.
And we have Lorena.
Hello, guys.
Hi, girls.
Hi,
It's a
Amanda.
very European stream today.
Yeah, totally.
We should be
I'm
appreciative.
outnumbered. I'm outnumbered for one. Word that one of
The
my
European
fellow
army stayed up late to invade the League of Mayhem.
Where are you located, Cole? I mean, not exactly, obviously, but
Jersey, New
Yay.
Jersey, USA.
I only say yay because I was in New York for a long time.
Oh, have you lived there?
I went to college there and lived there for about 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't go to college for 10 years, but I was in New York for 10 years.
Yeah, that's cool.
And was
I
it like
visited
in
New
New York
York.
City or in a different part of New York State?
New York City.
Okay.
I lived in Brooklyn mostly.
I was in New York City. I lived in the States for 2 years, and I went to New York City for a visit a few times. And I absolutely loved the city.
Yeah.
Since then, she's been begging her back.
Yeah, and she never takes me.
It's because we have time.
Well, no, because what we do every summer, we go to, well, not every summer. Past summer, we didn't do that, obviously, quarantine and all that. But we go to San Diego Comic-Con, and we generally try to do like a trip around that. So we would go, different places every time. We drove through California once. Then once we took a trip to Massachusetts. It's kind of like our thing. We would travel.
Nice.
That's
But
cool.
that means there is never time for New York City, and I am very upset by that.
I'll go to
Not
New
my
York.
fault.
See, Rachel will go to New York.
I'll go. We'll go tomorrow.
Yeah, you guys will be staying at my house, so I'll go.
What do you
Yeah.
mean we'll be staying at your house? You won't take us. I'm just teasing. Now I'm not invited to Cole's anymore. What am I gonna do?
I went once. Sorry, no, Amanda.
No, I was going to say, hopefully you guys can go this summer. I don't know what the status is on it, but
The
We don't know.
earliest we'll be able to see each other is probably in the fall, which sucks.
Yeah.
We've actually never gone this long without each other since traveling to America.
wow.
Yeah. But in the same time, fall is very exciting because we are working on this little cool thing with Zach, which some people may have heard about, but yeah, we are working on this thing, which is called SnyderCon 2.0 in the working name. So
Wow.
that's
In
exciting.
15 days. And the fans are really excited, mainly me.
Well, that's Justice Con. That's happening soon as well, but that's
Oh my
on.
god, but you're doing the thingy?
We're
doing
we're
this.
helping Zach to do the physical thing.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, you just need to message me. Okay, everyone, this stream is over. We have to go talk. Envy things.
Rachel's like, I need gossip after this.
So ready for this.
Gossip Girl.
XOXO.
Oh,
Anyway, so let's go back to Amanda.
I'm enjoying your relationship. That's all.
Oh.
Well, it's all geeky stuff. I mean, this is kind of what brought us all together, which was mostly, release the Snyder Cut fandom back when the Snyder Cut still needed to be released. Now it's Zack Snyder's Justice League fandom. So, yeah, we've all met through that. So it's any events that we do now, then those are mostly, stuff that we organize either together or people are excited all the same.
Yeah.
so Amanda,
Go on.
I wanted to ask, how did you get into acting? Was that something you discovered while you were in New York at college?
No, it was when I was a kid. I started performing when I was a kid, and I wanted to be a dancer originally, but I wasn't good enough, and I didn't have the right shaped body, and my knees were messed up, and I have scoliosis, and I had a brace and all that crap. So I kind of focused more on acting. But from the age of 9, I've been performing, and I've never thought of doing anything else, really. And the thought of doing anything else kind of makes me feel panicky.
You found your calling. You found where you fit.
I found it early. It just felt right. I went to New York to study acting at New York University.
That's where my mom went to college as well.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that you could study acting there. I looked into it myself because I knew I go to that school, but she went for something like management or something. Can't remember.
It's a gigantic school, so it covers many, many things, and it's really expensive. So
what made you decide to go to school in the U.S., or are you?
I grew up in the U.S. I was born and raised in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, you have a very American accent for someone living in the UK. I was like, you sound just like I do.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to go to the UK? Did you decide that you'd like to have affordable health care?
That was a factor in my staying. I originally came for 5 months to look after this flat, which was my mother's flat, and and in 5 months turned into almost 25 years. So I guess I must like something here. I mean, well, my partner Julian, I like the flat, affordable housing. Yeah, no, that's good. We learned that we really like each other during lockdown. That was so lucky. Affordable housing is a good thing that I have here. Healthcare is another thing that's good here. And it seemed a little bit easier for me to get seen as an actor.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can imagine because, like, I think the UK isn't as stuck up when it comes to acting.
Mm.
Well, there's a feeling that it's a profession versus just a famous person's playground, I guess. That you study for it, and it's like becoming a plumber. You do your job, and if you do it well, yay! And if you don't do it well, then the house floods. I mean, not really, but I'm just trying to stretch the metaphor. I'm a little bit nervous.
You don't have to
worry.
be
Don't be
nervous.
nervous.
Don't be.
Don't be nervous. No need to be nervous here. We're just, it's just a casual
Yeah.
chat.
Just us girls.
Yes, drinking a bit.
Yay!
Don't be nervous
Cheers.
because if you're nervous, Cole's gonna pull out that stupid chicken that she has. Cheers.
Yes, please, Cole.
It's chicken's not stupid.
I almost forgot about it. Thanks, Nana.
Damn it. I was
Yeah.
trying to.
My dad put a rubber chicken in my Christmas stocking and I've been regretting it ever since.
It's a new member of the stream, basically.
Yeah.
Have you named it?
No, not yet. But it's the bane
Philip,
of
this
their
is not helping. This is just not helping. Why is the chat never helpful?
It's because everyone loves my chicken.
Yeah, well, maybe you can get a chicken name from the chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
great idea.
Okay, guys, figure out a name for the chicken. We're gonna
Great
get
name.
it as its own StreamYard window too.
Thank you, Krypton. I'm doing this. Why? I don't know. That's the letter K in American Sign Language. All right, Krypton.
No, I think that we can all agree here. Like that scene in the movie with you. I mean, it was so. So I don't know. Have you seen the original? Well, not original. That's stupid to call it because it's not original. Have you seen the theatrical cut?
I saw the theatrical release at the cast and crew screening. And it wasn't really until after I saw the Snyder cut that I realized why everyone was so upset. Because it was vaguely the theatrical release was vaguely entertaining. I love Wonder Woman. I got to see Wonder Woman. There was a moment when I was like, "That's my set." Just as my set. Like, I mean, my scene's only 2 minutes. Just put it in. But after seeing the Zack Snyder Justice League, there's no comparison.
No.
It's
so
just
were you warned
universes
before you
away.
saw it?
Say again.
Were you warned before you went to the thing that your scene was cut?
Yeah, the casting director really kindly sent a letter to all of us that had been cut. And I can't remember exactly when that was, possibly in September. Because it came out in November, I think.
Yeah, November 17th.
And, there's always a chance you're going to be cut if you have a small part. But I thought because I was part of Cyborg's backstory and his origin story that I had a good chance of making it. But
And
I think,
people. Oh, sorry.
No, I think that seeing your scene in the movie, you can see how important it is, And I would dare say that today, I mean, in the times that we live in right now, the importance of it even more skyrocketed, because I think that what the issue that it highlighted, not just from the point of Cyborg and what he can do, but the actual real issue it's shown is very real today, more real than ever. And I think that's why it resonated with so many people so much. And I mean, I've seen some of the replies that you got on your question and stuff. And a lot of people are saying it's one of their favorite scenes, and I must agree with them, because when I saw it, it just kind of drives the point home, not only just how powerful Cyborg is, but also what kind of person he is. And it also highlights a very real issues with the world right now. And that's something like here on this stream and on any podcast and stuff Co and I have been doing or have partaken in, we've discussed this over and over and over, which is that we really appreciate how Zach does his movies and how they resonate with the real world and look at real issues that we are facing today. Even though you put superheroes in that world, it still kind of mirrors what the real world would be like if the superheroes were in it. And I think that scene really nicely portrays it myself.
Yeah, I didn't realize how powerful it was going to be. I knew it was going to be, I guess, touching, but I didn't realize how central it was, and central to Cyborg's story, and how central Cyborg was emotionally in the film. I mean, he kind of represents the way I felt as watching the film. He went on such an emotional journey that I kind of went with him, and it's hard to identify with Wonder Woman because, you know, she's an Amazon, and I want to be Wonder Woman, but it's hard for me to understand where she's coming from. But Cyborg, I found to be very relatable. And I didn't realize the scene was actually part of what made him so relatable until I saw it.
Yeah.
So how many times have you seen it?
I have only seen it once, and I just got a notification from the streaming service that my monthly payment bounced.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Because we were going to watch it together. We were going to watch it in installments this week, and now I have to sort that out.
If you want, you can have my login.
No, I don't want to do that.
That on the live stream, Rachel.
I don't want to.
No, I didn't message you, but like I just have Now TV, so if you wanted, you could have.
Hey, it's another Amanda.
Here's another Amanda. Hi, Amanda. I heard that you were worried about being a little too risque for League of Mayhem with your glass of wine. So I just thought I would bring my crunch berries in a mug with a very large spoon to add to the chaos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crunch berries rock.
Anyway.
So
welcome to League of Mayhem. They're very crunchy, and I didn't think about this until just now.
No, that
like literally, they're called crunch berries.
Never a dull moment in this room.
What?
Never.
I wish I was making this up. Like, I wish this was an accident or like something staged. Nope. I legitimately forgot these were crunchy, and they're called crunch berries. It's extra embarrassing because I'm the town I live in is where they're made, and someday, like one day a week, every week, it smells like crunch berries.
Wow,
it's lovely. What's a weird thing about where you live? Like that? Is there a weird smell like once a week?
Me personally? Well, I live in a very Hasidic Jewish neighborhood, so Friday nights are pretty loud.
Yeah.
And
so much.
Oh my gosh, Purim. Purim is crazy. It wasn't so much this year, but you've got like open-backed trucks full of, teenage, young adult Hasidic guys just bopping to Hebrew and electronic music. It's just, and all these little children in these wild costumes. It's Purim in my neighborhood is awesome. I enjoy it. So there, I answered your question, and I feel satisfied.
Just to add on to weird smells. No, I went for
this show is starting off great.
for the first few years of my life, I've been lived down north near central Jersey, and my town was right next to the town where Chips Ahoy cookies were made.
Oh,
And I went to Catholic school, so as a little kid, I was up at the crack of dawn. So I was up, and I would wake up to the smell of fresh baked
Oh my
Chips Ahoy and Oreo.
I
and
would pay for that to be bottled.
Yeah,
I
me
want that
too.
as a perfume.
I literally was planning to drive past there just with Nana, and the next time because on the way there's this amazing pancake place I'm going to take her to, but
Yeah,
to announce
he took me to a
COVID.
freaking
Goodbye,
ghost town.
COVID. Goodbye,
and
COVID.
they literally are closing the factory, and I was like. And I was like, I can't imagine driving to the old neighborhood and not smelling cookies, because like that's
Do you know
so
what that means, Cole? You have to spend your stimulus on Chips Ahoy, single-handedly keeping that factory afloat until Nana can make it. That's what has to happen now.
Do you want to actually hear something rather sinful? I don't like chocolate chip cookies.
no.
You know what? They're not the best cookie. They're not the best cookie. And Kong is going to win, and chocolate chip cookies are not the best cookie. I will go down fighting on both those.
I mean, I love every cookie.
Godzilla's gonna win, but anyway.
I'm a bigger fan of
Kong,
cookie.
but it's fine.
I am a bigger fan of cookie dough than cookies on its own.
Yeah, me
True.
too, Nana. Me too. I feel
What
you.
about you, Amanda? Do you think Kong or Godzilla?
Well, Kong enters my nightmares a lot of the time, so I think he's going to win.
Kong specifically?
Yeah.
Like
Oh
a
my God,
recurring
yes.
nightmare of Kong?
Oh yes, absolutely.
What happens in the nightmares?
I'm usually in probably New York City and trying to figure out a way to avoid this great big huge ape monster. And it's like movies. There are different plot scenarios. Like sometimes I get information from other people who are running away. Sometimes I can actually see him. Sometimes I'm hiding in a basement and it falls down. I mean,
So
You
you'll
need to
never
write that script.
take a role with King Kong in the movie, will you?
I wouldn't say that. It's, How much
Choose
do
your
you
own
pay me?
adventure. Hi,
Hi.
Palma.
Fatma, she's in the UK as well, so
Steve.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. You sound like you're from the UK.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
But
You're
if
in
you're
the
nice,
UK
you
too,
can
right?
convince her to do her American accent. She's great.
No, I'm not doing an
Do
American
it.
accent.
Do it.
Do it.
no, she's
No,
only
Glenn,
ever
if
done
we all
that.
chant loud enough.
She's only
No,
ever
I'm
done that in fit. So don't pressure the poor girl.
It'll come out later.
Okay.
We will
It
get
comes
that.
out when she's sober and the rest of us are drunk.
Yeah. Especially me.
Lorena.
Cheers,
Oh, no.
Steve.
So
Man,
okay, so
the other-
I
Getting the
have
funny
been
text from Lorena. We were trying to talk to her about the live stream coming up, and she's texting us in gibberish because she was drunk, totally
From texting,
drunk.
Nice.
She was, and
she was doing
Spanish
business,
for her
okay?
first language.
She was taking care of business.
I'm sorry.
That's always funny.
That's why we're called the
No,
League
it
of
was a
Mayhem.
I even
Quality.
made a mess in Burger King. My friend and I did a mess in Burger King. I don't know what happened, but
I just remember you texting us and you're like, I'm going to be okay. We're at Burger King. And I was like, yep. I couldn't make that out.
You know, this whole being drunk in Burger King story reminds me my former housemate. Once she came home drunk, and I was like halfway through my Friends binge, because like once in a blue moon I always go on a Friends binge because it's like my comfort show. I don't care what you guys think about it, it's my comfort show, okay?
yeah.
I know
Say
it has
it.
issues. Anyway, so I am there, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm just watching Netflix, I'm watching Friends, and my housemate comes in with a friend, and she has like full bag of Burger King, and she's obviously drunk. And she just kind of like plops on the couch next to me and pulls out these, like, they have these chicken fingers or what it is.
Yeah.
She's like, do you want a chicken finger? And I'm like, sure, I want a chicken finger. And we're just like, she's just sitting next to me and she goes, I don't like Ross. And I'm like, why don't you like Ross? And she goes, because he always talks about dinosaurs. And I'm like, well, it's kind of his job. And she goes, but is it really? It's like, I've heard a lot of complaints about Ross, but that is a question nobody asked before.
Yeah, she was pretty drunk.
You can tell just by the question or the statement, rather.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Amanda one thing.
Yes.
Because I've always been interested in this. Is easily to study for an exam or a test, or it's easily to learn a script?
Ooh.
There's similar muscles, actually. I mean, memory is a muscle.
Yeah.
I have to say, for a play, learning a script is easier than learning it for a film because you're rehearsing and learning the kind of the progression of the character.
Mm-hmm.
If you're learning it for one scene for one day or whatever, I find it hard to just memorize without any kind of logic behind it.
Yeah, and you have to learn also the lines from your co-star in the same scene, or
it's a really good idea to learn your cues.
Okay.
Also, I didn't really have any lines in Justice League, so I didn't have to memorize anything.
You had to learn the blocking and the emotions you had to portray.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
you said a whole lot.
I was really, really lucky in that the director allowed me to improvise. So I was talking a blue streak most of the time. I was just blah, 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 blah. And you can hear a little bit of it in the scene, like in the birthday party and stuff. But I never really had to learn any lines. I think there was only one line. I was only meant to have one line, which was, thank God. Oh my God, thank God. I think that's what it was. But I just kind of kept going. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
It made it feel more real. Like instead of like the way that because he let you improvise, everything felt so real and so much more raw and emotional.
He was really good. Clay Staub is his name, and he probably suspected it was my first big set. So he made me feel very comfortable and let me improvise, but also guided me when I needed to be guided. It was also the thing about I was working with kids, which I didn't really realize until I got to the set. Like, here, your children. Wow. Hi.
Okay.
Like, I did not make you.
Yeah. So he was very good at making me feel comfortable.
How long did it? You mentioned this is your first time on like a big film set. How long did it take to film what you were like your role within the Justice League?
It was 4 days, and I did 2 days on the Splinter set, which is where the apartment was, the grocery store. So this was a separate soundstage that had all those little sets built on it.
Right.
And a Splinter unit. We also shot on the Gotham Street set. And then there was the second unit, which was on the Gotham Street set. And that was mostly cover shots of hands and weird angles and things like that. And then there was the principal shot, and that was with Ray and Zach. And that was huge, and my heart was pounding, and I really had to concentrate. to not faint or mess up or something, because I thought this is like $1,000 a minute. Do not mess this up. But it was pretty incredible. So that was my 4 days. I thought it was going to be 1 day when I got the job.
Yeah.
And over the course of the process, it became more and more. I was like, oh, I think this is much bigger than I think it is. I have all these costumes. I have a trailer. Oh, there's someone that's accompanying me from place to place. It was, it was great, but really, overwhelming and shocking, and not what I'm used to at all.
How did the casting process go? Were you grabbed out of a portfolio, or did you come in and read for it?
I came in and did an audition on tape for it. You get auditions through your agent, and they're for many, many different things. It can be like an outdoor children's show about nature, or a commercial for laxatives or medication. So I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew it was something big because of the NDA I had to sign, the non-disclosure agreement. I can't remember exactly when I found out it was Justice League, but I thought it was something big. But I don't get big jobs like that, so I didn't think about it. I do an audition, I try not to think about it. I go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So when suddenly, months later after the audition, my agent texted me and said, "Are you available for a costume fitting? And are these shoot days okay for you?" I was like, can you double check on that? Because I'm not entirely sure that they have the right person. Are you sure they texted me? But so that was.
Which is hilariously parallel to your character finding some extra cash in her account and being like,
yeah.
Is this
it was a little bit like that. I've told this story before, that I went into the costume fitting and they showed me the waitress outfit, and I was like, oh, that's great. I was thinking, oh, good, it's going to hide certain bulges and things. And then they turned to me with another rack of clothes and said, these are all your other costumes. And that's the first inkling I had that it was going to be more than 1 day.
That's when you start panicking.
Yeah. And they said, oh, well, you have a name and everything. I was like, what?
You're like, I've never had a name.
I've never had a name.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but when I was first watching it, I remember I started the movie at 11, and when your part came up, I was like, huh? This is a surprise. Where's this coming from? And then I focused so much. I was like, wait, what's this person's story that Cyborg is observing? And the story was so amazing and so impactful in such a surprising and wonderful way. Because when you're watching everything happen, I'm just like, we never even had an inkling of an idea that this was ever going to be in any of the stories. So truly your part was a complete surprise for us. And when I first watched it and saw how much it meant for Cyborg, and maybe how that story relates to him, and how he said the absentee father, and like how the struggle is real, it was just wow. So much of this movie was taken, and we were robbed, and so were you, and so was Ray, and all the other cast members, and all the other people who played a part in Zack Snyder's vision. So thank you so much for this performance, and thank you so much for it, because it was so amazing, and it meant so much more.
So much. Yes, it means so much to there's not a person that I've spoken to who doesn't bring up that scene and like talk about how it's just a gut punch.
Wow.
But the thing is, like, it's very potent, right? It's not 20 minutes of background story. It's this like extremely potent package that takes you by surprise, and like you're immediately just like on this journey with this person. living their life and feeling the dread of getting the eviction notice. It's
yeah. And like
you told the complete story in 2 minutes, literally.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was so hard because I was under, like, a few of us were under embargo, and I was like, that scene, no one knows it's coming. And I was just, I can't speak about this, and I can't put it in my spoiler-free review, but, like, it's coming, and it's so amazing. And then when you tweeted it out, I was like, that's you. Oh my God.
I remember it was interesting because as girls here, we were lucky to see the movie before the general audience.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were lucky to see it before general audience, we also couldn't speak about it, like Fatma says.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things like, and I don't know, obviously you've been kind of inducted into the fandom very recently, so I'm not sure.
Welcome.
More like mom.
Welcome. It's a
Like,
crazy
more like
house, but we love it.
you.
But I don't know if you kind of got a sense yet of just how important this movie is to so many people. And I'd say so many people in this room, probably all of us, like in this kind of stream room. And I remember, when we watched it, we actually right next day we had a stream with Ray Porter, and we ended up hanging out afterwards and just talking about it because there was just so much, and then you cannot really put it into text. And just like girls say, like you had a whole life story go on in 2 minutes, and you said you didn't really have any lines, which you didn't need to. You delivered something so powerful, and you didn't need to say a word because it just spoke so much on its own. So, I mean, I'm just glad that we got to see it.
It's all unreal to me, just how big and impactful, if that's a word. This thing that I did 5 years ago, that I kind of forgot about it, but I had heard about the campaign and the the fans movement to try and get the Snyder Cut out, release the Snyder Cut. I had heard about it. Every so often I would Google just to see if my story got leaked somehow. So at one point I Googled Cyborg Mother Justice League deleted scene, and it came up with a story about Cyborg's mother. And that's when I started to understand how deep it went and how people were so upset. And it wasn't, I was just saying to the other girls before that, I didn't realize until I saw both versions what exactly had been done. I just spoke with someone earlier today about the diversity, the effortless diversity of Zack Snyder's cut, about how normalized all these different people from all these different backgrounds, from the Justice League itself to all the way down to crew and the supporting artists. And it was all normalized. If we hadn't had that theatrical version, we probably wouldn't have thought about it as much. We wouldn't have thought about what had been cut out. We might have, the fact that, and this was pointed out to me as well, the fact that my character is Asian and is struggling, and Cyborg's character is African American and is from an affluent family or a well-off family, that it subverts two stereotypes at one time. But it does it in a way that it doesn't knock you over the head with it.
It's literally how it's literally how it should be.
Yeah. Yes.
And also you filmed that 5 years ago, but can we think of a a more relevant moment in time to be having a conversation around specifically what you're talking about here, this entire the fact that the diversity is effortless, really has been something that has always attracted me to Zach's work. And having spoken with Debbie here on League of Mayhem, we know that that's no accident. Like, they're very intentional about that. But you said that it feels effortless. Did you, before you did your day of, you said it was, I think, primary with Zach and Ray, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, like, by then what you were making and who was directing and who you be?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
At that point, you did?
At that point, I did. And I was very excited because I love Wonder Woman, and my trailer was right by Wonder Woman's stunt double's trailer. So I got to walk by that every day, and it was exciting. But I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew what the project was, and that was incredibly exciting, and it was huge. But I didn't know that the scene I was doing was going to be so crucial, really, in the development of Cyborg, and that Cyborg was so crucial to the emotional heart of the film.
That's like an occupational hazard when working with Zach, because we've explained before how one of the reasons we love his work so much is that no matter how minor or small a character is, he pays attention to these details and gives you so much. Like, whether it's just the fact that like each morning the cop that watches Superman's memorial drinks a coffee with Lois Lane, or to the fact that a waitress who's struggling with her employment and what have you, and her money, like, it's like it never ends, like, with the amount of detail he puts in. So it's like you can never tell if when you're working, like when you're getting a job with that man, what's he gonna do to your role? Like, what's he got in store for you?
When I went to the audition, and this may have just been so they could give people things to audition with, like concepts and stuff, the character was homeless.
Oh.
And there was a little bit of an issue because not a lot of homeless people have bank accounts. Some of them do. Some of them do have cards and things like that. But that by the time that I got the job, I was still thinking it was a homeless person when I went to the when I got the text. Yeah, then I was told it was a different character, and it's so impactful because I really hope that's a word. Can someone just let me know if that's a word in the chat?
It is a word. Somewhere? Impactful
awesome.
Is definitely a word.
Yeah.
That the kids, having those kids, and I don't know if you noticed, but my two kids looked really different. The older girl, she was light-skinned Afro-Caribbean, and the boy looked vaguely Mediterranean. I mean, that could have been a genetics thing. I'm not saying they had different fathers. I'm just saying that there was, it wasn't a typical, like, looking at this Asian American woman saying this person will have these kids. It's like, this person could have these kids.
Yeah.
And so even the choice of the children is an entire statement in and of itself, which it should be. There's a phrase called color conscious casting, which is preferable to colorblind casting.
Yes.
That it's you're conscious of what people go through and what read, and when they see a certain face on the screen or hear a certain voice.
Right. What the connotations for both the audience, but also from a performer's perspective, like what experience does this person have to draw from or with this subject material, and what kind of insight are they going to bring to the role itself. Like the fact that your insight about the fact that most homeless people don't have bank accounts or credit card type things. That's just not a part of most homeless people's reality. That's like an insight that not everyone would think of. So that's really amazing to hear that's doesn't seem like an accident. It also, something that struck me, I have 2 toddlers, which by the way, if you hear like, it sounds like someone is like body slamming someone else or something, it's them. But like they always have to be supervised. Those kids were young enough still that they were at an age where they always had to be supervised. So that's why they're out with you in the rain, because it's not safe to leave them alone in your apartment where you live. So you have to take them with you in the rain at 10:30 p.m. after you got off your shift at the restaurant to check to see if your paycheck came in. Like it's so, I know that is a real story. It might be pretend on a script, but that is like all a real story of someone somewhere. So, and it means so much for people to see like that no matter their situation, there's hope can carry them through. Obviously, that's like Cyborg and the Justice League and Superman himself, right? That's a big part of the themes of the material, but the way what Zack Snyder's Justice League became, what it like the meaning that it carries for the community of fans and for the Snyders and their traveling circus of people, that I think is even more of a testament to like the power of hope and persevering. And maybe they're not homeless or waitressing as a single parent, but I think
they understand.
Yeah.
Hardship.
Suffering is suffering.
There are parallels in the story to the story of Release the Snyder Cut. I mean, the resurrection of Superman, there's this feeling of loss to the world of this great thing. And then the resurrection of him and not knowing what's going to happen. And it also the fact that, the theatrical release was soon after Trump was inaugurated. And that the Snyder Cut has come after the Trump years are finished.
Yeah.
That's only when good things can happen now.
that the release that is felt of having someone else in the White House, I mean, really, anyone else in the White House almost. That release of the Snyder Cut has a similar feeling. It did for me, this sense of restoration. And I've just, I'm new to this world.
So let me ask you, have you seen Man of Steel and Batman v Superman before, or have you seen it now that you've seen Snyder Cut?
I am ashamed. Well, no, I'm not ashamed. People see what they see and they live it.
That's fine.
And I didn't have a streaming service before last week. And, I have watched, since Superman came out in 1976, I think it was 77. I have watched superhero films, but I haven't been as diligent about it as perhaps Star Wars or going to Beatle conventions, or everyone has their different madnesses.
Pause. Beetle conventions, as in insectoid beetles. Beetle conventions, as in Beatles. Beetle musicians. The musician. Okay. Just checking.
The wine.
Is there other Beatle conventions?
It's aged 30 days in rum barrels. so it tastes even
But
better.
That's
it's
got
kicking
a,
in.
and it's got a clicked on the bottle.
Yeah.
I'm just my wine bottles
Sponsored.
over there.
We should
Oh, I
I'm
know
gonna go get it.
these. I
You
know
can go
these
get it.
brands.
I legitimately, guys, I really would use a wine. Like, I was not planning on drinking out of the bottle, but I can't reach my wine glasses above my fridge. Like, I can't reach them anymore.
Where's Mr. Amanda Lauren?
Wrangling the
So he
mini
can't help,
Amanda Lorenz.
he can't help you get the. How dare he put things where the small where the short wife can't get it?
I know.
That's
It's
like what
probably my fault. I don't know.
my dad does the same thing.
I don't know, but Amanda, you guys are both short. Like, why are you putting things up high?
Yeah.
Because we don't bother with the glass anymore. Because this is our life now. If you're gonna open the bottle, you might as well just drink from it and finish the whole thing. Hi, Joey. Hi, guys. It's so okay. You might not have seen Man of Steel and BVS. That's all right.
But you should watch them once you get your streaming service sorted.
Yes. Who told you to watch the original? Did you watch it back then? Or did you watch it like just more recently? You watched it back then.
Yeah, I got an invitation to the cast and crew screening. I think that was
okay.
I got an invitation to the cast and crew screening, and I was like, "Oh, I think this means I'm in it." And then I got the letter from the casting director saying, "I'm sorry."
That's kind of rude.
Yeah, showing you the film.
We watched the movie. By the way, you're not in it.
No, but it's, I mean, that's a really kind thing that she did, because there have been loads of times that people have gone to screenings and taken their partner or taken their mother, and then they're not in it. So I knew I wasn't in it, but I went because I love Wonder Woman.
Relatable. That is the most relatable thing ever.
Yeah.
And then you saw what you saw that they did.
And then I saw what I saw, but it made me go.
Did you also go home thinking that wasn't as so bad? Yeah. And then over the next 48 hours, you just go, nah, that was awful.
I left feeling like that was moderately entertaining. And then I kind of didn't think about it.
Yeah.
It was
forgettable.
It was forgettable. And then I think about the Russian family, and it's not the actor's fault, but I'm just like, really, when that was going on, I was like, really?
You're like, where did you come
2 minutes long.
Everyone says about the Russian family.
I think the Russian family is like the bane of everybody's existence. Like,
poor Russian family.
And the freaking bug spray.
I don't think anybody will ever understand the logic behind the Russian family. I
think that's what Sweden tried to attempt with. I'm sure he had seen the rough version of what you did and what everyone else did, and I think that's his very.
And he decided, no, Russian family is gonna convey it better.
Say it, but like his attempt
ham-fisted is the word that we would.
Yeah, it was an attempt to have an emotional center somehow.
Mm-hmm. It's just like like now that we've seen the cut and we've seen like that your 2 minute scene, and then we compare it to the 2 minute scene with practically 2 minute scene with the Russian. Like, who in their right mind? Like, first of all, he had to actually shoot that. So he already had a good scene, and he went and he was like, you know what? I could make it whiter.
I mean, I have an answer, but
I'm sorry, it's Joss Whedon. I'm dropping truth here.
Fatma is so dumb.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my eyes. I'm blinded.
Oh my god.
I don't know what's going on in people's minds, when they make these decisions, and I'm not going to go completely there and say it's 100% intentional or conscious.
It just like
But man,
when you look
just
at all
look at
the,
it.
when you look at all the POC that they erased from the movie, we didn't even know about you before you tweeted. We didn't even know that. Like,
thank goodness you tweeted. Thank you so much for tweeting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tweeting and asking.
We literally had no.
needed
Like,
to.
we've all list of people of color that Joss Whedon cut from the movie. We didn't even know we were missing a name because we didn't even know about your role. And it's like when you look at how many people of color he cut from the movie, it's like one. Okay, that might be two. Starting to establish a pattern. Three. Okay,
Yeah.
you're up to some fuckery here.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel that Ray Fisher has been vindicated, and that my God, what they did to him was criminal. That was just.
Now, were you aware of that, like, in the more recent, like, last 6 months or so, or is that something that has just kind of come to your attention in the last few weeks?
When I went to the cast and crew screening, there were already people kind of
grumbling about it,
whispering,
and I can't remember who I ran into someone from the shoot, and they said, well, they reduced Cyborg's story a lot. And I think that's when I first heard that Cyborg was meant to be the heart of the film.
Yep.
And so that's when I knew that Ray Fisher had been shafted.
Jinx.
Whoa! Did you just say that too? Oh my
God.
At
the same exact time.
And I'm a little bit tiddly, so I'm ignoring the jinx. I'm gonna ignore it.
Here, we'll drink to it together. There you go.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I want
But the contents of this isn't alcoholic, but I'll drink.
It's okay. I've got iced tea, so I don't have to be special either, Lorena. That much. No, Lorena's drinking.
I mean,
anyway.
almost every day I'm mad.
So you have been aware for 5 years that was rumbling afoot.
Yes, and you would hear on social media, oh, there's people there. There's a rough cut somewhere, and they want to try and get it released, and it didn't become real until last year, right? It was right before lockdown when the announcement.
No, it
right
was during
after
lockdown.
May.
It was during
May 20th.
Yeah, it was like
the lockdown started in March.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, being outside of the hurricane, it didn't become reality until that announcement was made. And even then, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it.
Did you got that letter from the casting director saying, hey, sorry, your role has been cut back in whenever ago?
Yeah.
Did you get a letter from the casting director saying, congrats?
You're back.
So, yeah.
No.
So you hear that it's coming out, but there's no like personal absolution or personal like closure there until you see the movie. Did someone tell you, by the way, you're in it? Like, how did this happen?
You found out through that tweet.
Literally.
Didn't you?
I found out on Twitter. I literally found out on Twitter.
I keep telling myself that's not really how it happened for you, but it is.
It's funny because I found your tweet when there was literally no traction at all yet. Like, there was no reaction to it. But I was looking the hashtag up because I just wanted to see like reactions from people who are outside of the fandom. So I looked up the hashtag just to kind of see. And I scroll down, and you literally just posted that tweet, and I'm like,
Wow.
"That's crazy." That
I
was
saw
such
it within a
crazy
few minutes. I
coincidence.
think I must have seen you in interacting with it, Nana, because I saw it very early on,
Yeah,
and
me
I was
too.
like, "Holy crap!" Not only is she
Like,
in the movie, like Deb just said a week ago,
And I
that
just
that's-
like literally said, "Yes, you're in it," and then I had to
Yeah.
run off, so I didn't even know what was going on. And then I came
Oh.
back, and I see
But
the
it
tweet,
was
and
funny.
it exploded.
It was so funny though, because once Nana had replied to it, suddenly, and the group chats were in for like different people who are in the movement and what have you, your tweet was circulating. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, other person they cut out," and people were talking about it, and like everyone was trying
That's
to figure out.
insane.
We're trying to figure out like exactly, like some people were like, "Oh, I want to go take a screenshot, but it won't let me," or something. Like they wanted to show you.
Yeah.
It was like
Wow.
immediately a discussion.
so.
That is insane to me. But wow, thank
Did
you, everybody.
Did you make it an event? The first watching.
Well, I made it an event in that I set aside time for it.
Okay, fair.
I wanted to. I didn't want to do it casually, and I didn't want to do it like, sometimes you watch a movie and you pause it and you go and you make popcorn, or you go to the store, get more beer, whatever. I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
So I made time to watch it, and I am so bummed, that the streaming service, I used up my free 7-day trial, and they tried to take a payment from my account, and it bounced.
Is it possible? Maybe you just put in details wrong. That's what happens to me all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nana, get your family on
sometimes
that.
you like
Your
type
extended
it, you type
family.
it too fast.
Nana has
I'll-
connections, right?
I'll get it sorted out. But
You know what? What's going to happen is that somebody is going to send your agent. We're going to figure out who your agent is, and somebody is going to send your agent a copy of like the Steel book or something when it comes out. So that's what's going to happen, and then you'll just have it forever.
Are you
Oh
in
my
the UK?
gosh. I am.
Yeah.
The HMV exclusive has come out for the Steelbook. So
Whoa.
Yeah, you can
that.
get like an
I've done
exclusive.
Oh my
Speaking of that steel book, on the day that it ships, I'm gonna probably end up with like 5 of them in my house, because I had a bunch of people text me if they can ship it over to me, because they're from the States and they really want this one. So, and I'm like, yeah, sure, that's fine. But I stopped checking who actually ordered it. So I just kind of gave people my address. So I will probably be quite surprised when I end up with like 20.
I don't remember if I
Just
asked you to
lose
buy me
one at Amanda's house. Just lose one.
The delivery man's like, okay.
Well, you guys can order it to my house still if you wanna.
Okay.
But I'm not giving address on live stream, okay? Like I said, you guys, not the chat.
Yeah, everyone that's watching is like, I can get Nana's address. Wait.
You give me a notepad.
So you wait. So you made it an event. You set aside the time to watch it. You dedicated the time to watch it. Were you surprised at your scene, like, or could you feel it coming? Did you
remember the setup for it?
Yeah, I mean, what was it like to look at yourself on a huge movie?
Well, the actual scene had been sent to me by someone.
Okay.
So I'd seen the scene. But and I knew which section it was in.
Okay.
And I knew once Victor's dad started talking in the voiceover, I said, "Oh, I think this is it." But it was, that whole desert scene, that kind of Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett desert scene thing. It was just like, I was like, whoa. And then it was suddenly, oh wait, that's me. And oh my God, it was, and I had audience reaction to it. His smile after he does it is so it's so perfectly executed as an acting moment, but and so effective as an audience member.
Yeah.
So I reacted as an audience member when I was watching the movie. When I was watching the scene, I was like, "Oh, look at that, it's me." But when I was watching the film itself, I was wrapped up in it and reacted as an audience member.
Yeah.
I think that and I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this on the live, on the stream last time. We've had actually Ray Porter here, and you were talking about, and on other streams too, I was talking about it. Like, what I appreciate about Zach's movies is that there is no unnecessary chit chat. Like, you get basically whatever is said in the movies is impactful, and you don't get, really pointless talk. I think that's a problem of so many movies today, that there's a lot of really pointless talk and things that are said that you don't need to say. You can convey them without words. Like, for example, what your thing was, your scene was, you didn't have to say a word, and yet you convey the whole story. And then, like you said, Cyborg's smile at the end when, the whole thing unfolds and he gives her money and all that stuff. Again, it says so much, and there doesn't need to be anything said.
Less is more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Except when it's, oh my God, the action sequences and the battle sequences. Oh my God.
Right?
Amazing.
That's when you want more.
I love her so much.
How
I
I'm
never
in love with the abs of the women
Of the Amazon.
knocking down. Like, I'm sure the women are lovely. I'm sure I would love them too, but I can't see anything but their abs. So crazy.
Yeah, all of the Amazons look like they could beat the crap out of a whole battalion.
And and they would be thanked for it too.
Yeah.
Where do we sign up?
Like, that's like
we'll become a battalion, guys.
That's like
even
I've always said. Whenever people are annoyed at like how they'll try to say Zach is like trying to say he's misogynist or something, because like he lets the Amazons wear what they want, and like their muscles are shown off, and it's like, where me to a movie where without making fun of her, a woman is allowed to be buff and badass looking without being turned into a joke, and allowed to be her powerful goddess like self. And it's like, show me, please, literally.
Not
give
just
me an
that.
example.
I've asked Mr. Amanda, I have asked him to look up the numbers to see if if this has been counted or if there's a way we can quantify it. But I would venture that Zack Snyder's Justice League is the production that has employed more female actors and stunt workers doing their own stunts, like actors doing their own stunts or stunt people, than any other movie. Like, what other movie?
No other.
I can't think of
Like,
anything.
I feel like the only time I've literally ever seen a woman who's muscular and allowed to be muscular and badass has been when she's been turned into a joke. Or like, or there's been a guy saying she's not sexy to him or something.
Or somehow sexualized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fetishized somehow.
Fetishized, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's not in the movie field, but in one video game, The Last of Us, there's a buff girl that it isn't made a joke or anything. But we need to see that more in movies and all.
Yeah, you have to let people with bodies, exist. People have bodies.
Yeah, my sister is buff too, and no one says anything to her. Like, it's normal too.
To be fair, that it is because they are scared that she would kick their ass. But
yeah,
like literally, if you look at the Amazons, you can tell that they can break a watermelon with their thighs, and you're like, I'd love for them to say something bad to them.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, I'd love to be that watermelon. Is what I thought you were gonna say.
I don't want to die, but
No, but can they? Like, have they done that before? Is there a YouTube video for that or something?
I mean,
None that I've seen, but I'm just guessing, you know?
I think there will be now.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Joey?
You've got
remember
Mrs.
this.
Amanda right here. Joey,
It's fine.
you know what,
fine.
Joey? I'm telling on you to Meg. I'm telling on you to Meg. She's gonna kick you out of World's Finest. I'm telling on you.
Thank you. I appreciate the backup. He's adopted anyway. You're adopted, Joey. It's a joke because it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. He's not adopted, but we did joke that we adopted him. My husband and I, who we call Mr. Amanda. So yeah.
Adopted meaning you're adopting him. It's not like he didn't know he was adopted and you outed him as an adoptee on the stream.
Exactly.
Anyway, what was your opinion of how the women were portrayed in this movie? And I know we've spoken about them a bit, but like, I feel much more empowered just watching the Amazonians and then seeing Wonder Woman do her thing in such an amazing way. So like in the bank robbery scene, it felt more fresh. It felt like she had complete control of it and it wasn't done in a cheesy way. And then, you know, every single moment where she has to fight or has to defend anyone, she seems so well done. And regardless of that, even outside of it, so like in the scene with Alfred with the tea, or like when she's looking at how Alfred is setting up, or like even when she's looking at how Alfred is setting up, you know, the Batman gadgets, and then she has that banter. Her character feels more fleshed out, and I feel so connected to her. I know you love Wonder Woman, so what was your opinion of her in this, and the women in the movie at the beginning and throughout the movie as well? And have you seen Wonder Woman, the movie, the 2017 movie? And
I haven't seen Wonder Woman 84.
Okay.
I saw the 2000 was it
17.
Yeah,
17 Wonder Woman movie. And I loved it because I grew up with Linda Carter and the World War II. It was a strange thing because it was World War II, and then in the next season it was suddenly contemporary. But I just love Wonder Woman so much. I don't know if I tweeted at one point that when they were threatening to cancel the show, that as a kid, I wrote a letter to the network begging them not to, saying Wonder Woman is so much better than the Bionic Woman.
And can I just
I know it's not true. It's not true.
No,
but
can
I was a kid.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you because I really want to hear the rest of your story, but can you see the parallel of you writing a letter to the studio about cancelling your show to the current movie that you were in, where we, as
wrote letters to the studio,
wrote letters and campaigned? So, like, this is such an amazing, like, it comes around. But please do continue your point because I really want to hear your opinion on this. But thank you so much.
So yes, in the theatrical release, she was not as grounded. She was set dressing a lot of the time. She was almost relegated to sidekick sometimes. That romantic,
hypersexualized, in every possible way.
Have you heard the groan? What the hell?
You saw that? I never noticed that until I saw that tweet, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
I was blown away at that.
But you know, like even the fact that like the entire, you know, the segment where they go into the Bruce Wayne's hangar and they just have the mother box on the table and they're discussing the resurrection of Superman. The fact that, you know, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, it is all of them talking together and coming to this conclusion together as a team. While on the opposite, I do not understand, and I will never understand how could someone think that changing it to literally Wonder Woman being the only one disagreeing,
Yeah.
and Bruce
And then
coming
giving
at
in.
her and digging into like
And
something
bullying
so
her.
personal. It's just like, and at the time it was, we know from BVS, which I know you haven't seen, but there is, you have seen the first Wonder Woman movie, which kind of sort of connects to BVS in the sense that you see Diana receiving the photo from Bruce Wayne, and then she kind of goes back in time in her memory, and the movie is kind of from her memory. But that photo, he discovers it in BVS. So if you watch Man of Steel, and if you watch Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Edition, what you will see is you will see Diana for the first time,
Yes.
and she is after this thing which contains her photo, but she can't get to it. Bruce gets to it, and that's where he discovers the old photo that they took in the First World War.
Wow.
Like,
And
wait,
that's
you're
how he
a
finds out about her.
Yes.
And he texts her, he emails her about it. So he knows this sort of personal story of hers. He doesn't really have details, but he knows, that this was something that meant a lot to her, and that Steve meant a lot to her. So then seeing in theatrical him take such a dig at her in front of people who had no idea what her personal history was, just to kind of take her down because she was the only one in the team who was against this. It just made no sense. And it was literally the whole building of that scene was so revolting to me now that I've seen also what it should have been.
I think if you think about it, and I'm not saying that this was the intention of like the writer, the director, the performers at all, but it's interesting how they make the only woman in the room also be the only one who's willing to say, I have some hesitations about this. It puts women in a more passive and like nagging kind of light that I am too familiar with as someone who has worked in the workplace, and also just existed in the world as a person who appears as a woman, like as a cis woman. Yeah. So at the time that struck me and was irritating to me because I did feel like, of course they're dismissing someone who has like a reasonable hesitation about doing this. But then having looked at it retrospectively, I'm like, of course they paint Wonder Woman as the only one complaining about this plan. Yeah. And then, like you said, Nana, taking not just like a dig, but like a nasty dig.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he wanted
like,
to kill any kind of potential romance that they might have had in the future.
Yeah.
And it's not just about killing romance. It's just so
out of character.
It's so out of character. It's rude. It's inappropriate. It's just not cool.
Like Bruce Wayne, Batman, he's a dick, but he's not the kind of dick who's going to turn to someone he's looking at as a friend and say, "Oh, did your boyfriend tell you that?"
Yeah. I mean, for me,
like we see Bruce struggling throughout the entire BVS. He literally stops in his tracks when his mother's name is mentioned.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be taking, a shot at Diana over missing someone that he loves.
Versus this Bruce, who is like, you got to have faith, Alfred, who's all like, let's get the team together. And like, I got to do this to right the things that I've done wrong. And Superman is an inspiration for me to like be a better human being and a better leader and a better superhero. Like that's the Bruce we get in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like
we need
parallel,
that Bruce.
And like to parallel it even more in this movie, at the end in the dream sequence, we have Joker exchange words with Bruce, and he says, he knows what it's like to lose someone,
and
literally starts naming them. So it's like, it just, to me, when I saw that, and then when I had the comparison on top of it, it's something that just sticks out like really big time, and it just tells you a lot about the person who decided to reshoot the whole thing and replace it.
I mean, I get why Patty Jenkins exactly said that she took Zack Snyder's Justice League as the base to do Wonder Woman, not this, because for me, I mean, Wonder Woman is my favorite fictional character of all time. Okay, and to me, she was a joke in the theatrical cut, a whole joke. Like, I'm not even going to remember anything because I want to forget that movie. But it means right now you get why Patty Jenkins, for example, said that the directors try to follow Zack's vision and not the other. It's like, if even the directors can see that movie was not it, I mean, that tells a lot for me. Yeah.
That of you get 10, let's say you get 10 people in a room, and one of them, who unfortunately happens to be in charge of the decisions, says that it's a good idea, and all the rest of them are like, no,
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. Should tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
So somebody clip that and send it to Jason Kylar real quick.
Yeah. Oh, is that how you say his name?
I don't know. Kylar.
The thing that Nana, you just said about the Joker, and him using names, bringing up names and using names to, so it's interesting that in the theatrical release that's what Bruce Wayne does.
Which makes him just like what he hates.
Yeah, which makes him exactly like what he hates. So, oh my God, I'm so glad the Snyder Cut was released, because
yeah,
it feels like a relief.
There's so much that well, I mean, me personally, so much I wouldn't have known. And how many levels it works, my God, it's just so sophisticated and complicated, and yet efficiently done.
And also digestible. It is so rare to me that to find anyone in any art form that can convey at both I like to call it like a civilian level, very digestible, very general audience, as well as on a higher level to those who are aware of like any pre-existing lore, right? So the theatrical cut turned Bruce into a clown. Yes, the opposite of a
Joey
Joker.
is always up for his game.
Always.
Never
Funniest guy in the fandom, Joey Moreno. If you don't follow Joe Bear 94, you should. And I'm gonna take a drink because I just promoted Joey's Twitter account.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
Is that a drinking game?
Yeah, well, so
it's not from this stream. That's from a different stream, but yeah.
It is. Dave Film Junkies vodka stream. If you haven't watched any of those or been bothered by him to join his stream yet, you will be. But I would say he's like the Cheers bar. He's the bartender of the release the Snyder Cut / restore the Snyderverse movement. He runs Cheers, and we all show up every week.
Oh man, you gotta love a Cheers reference. Jesus Christ.
It's true though. Well, I don't know if anyone else knows Cheers well enough to reiterate that, but it is.
Yeah. I know Cheers because of my mom. She loves.
Really, Lorena? Really?
But I mean,
fine. I'm old. It's fine.
No, I mean, I'm almost 30. I'm old too.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm leaving.
Wait, she literally just told us that she wrote a letter to keep Linda Carter on the air. Okay, you don't. Legitimately though, I have. Do you? What's your secret? What do you do? Do you never wash your makeup off? Do you never wear makeup? Like, why do you look
Well,
like
that's a
you
really,
could not
really-
have possibly written a letter to keep Linda Carter on the air?
That's so kind. Thank you so much. But it's I'm just gonna go with the genetics. You know,
Yeah.
we have a little saying that we can say and other people can't, which is "yellow don't mellow."
Okay.
Okay,
That's true
then.
though. It's like everyone's vampire. All like
Yeah.
everyone who's of Asian descent, they're like vampires. They don't age.
Yeah.
And then when they
I-
do, it doesn't hurt them.
And then, and then it happens all at once, and then suddenly you're like an old lady that's been an old lady for forever.
No,
But,
but there's
like,
something
well, you
about
still
really
look
old
good.
age that is admirable and wizened. Like it doesn't. There's something like I don't know, between the ages of 50 and I don't know, probably 75, people are like, whatever, you're just old. But then I feel like once you get closer to 80 and up, they're like, you're a national treasure. You're
Right?
the oldest living object on the world. I don't know. This is just
There's
Yeah.
something
I have
to look forward
a
to.
lot of
Treasure.
longevity in my family line. So I know that I'm going to be like crippled, but live until I'm 80. My grandmother just passed away at 93. So
Oh, I'm
I'll be
sorry,
up
but
there.
That sounds.
Sorry.
It
Oh,
sounds like she lived
It's
a
all
life.
right. She's much happier now than she was then. So it's good. But she 93 years is not a bad run. Not a
Not
bad
bad.
run.
Yeah.
She
my
was
granddad-
never in Zack Snyder's Justice League though. So you've got one up on her already.
Wow. I'm sorry, Grandma. Jeez.
But
No, run
can
with it.
since you're a big Linda Carter fan, can I give you one spoiler for Wonder Woman 1984?
Oh, I have heard.
You already
that
heard
she has
that
a cameo.
Let
But
me tell you, I recognized her from her eyes and mascara alone. I literally
Right?
screamed,
Me
"That's
too.
Linda Carter!" And my dad was like, "How do you know?"
Me too. Me too.
Oh my God. No, I'm
It makes your
trying
heart
really-
explode.
I'm trying so hard not to guess what it might be.
No,
It's,
no,
you
You're
know,
gonna-
I
You're
don't
gonna
think you
love
could
it.
guess
What-
if you tried,
Yeah.
to be
What's
honest.
the
I
movie?
don't think
Because-
you
you
could.
couldn't guess, but you'll be very happy, like in the
Yeah.
context of it. Like it's perfect, okay? It's
You're gonna love
literally
it.
perfect. It pays so much homage to her as Wonder Woman, but also as a person.
Yeah.
And I hope
It's true.
I hope she'll come back for more than just a cameo. Like I feel like they might have set up for that, but
Yes.
They better have. They
Yes,
better
please.
have, because we want it.
I mean, she's in the
want it.
universe. She's in the DC universe right now, so
They can.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonder.
I
And
mean,
you do have to.
So
watch
your letter
BTS.
worked.
You know why? Because there is that epic Wonder Woman entrance in there.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and
BBS,
BTS,
right?
the Ultimate Edition, the Wonder. Let me tell you, when Wonder
Ooh.
Woman entered the scene for the first time in the cinema, everyone was screaming and clapping
Yes.
and cheering. It was the most
To this
amazing
Yeah.
moment.
to this day, this happens in BVS. So I just went to an event last month that was hosted by someone. His Twitter handle is called @HereForZach. His name's Abdul.
Abdul.
Hey, Abdul. He helped organize an event called BVS Comes Home, and it was a showing of Batman versus Superman in a theater in the Detroit area where they filmed a lot of on-set stuff for BVS, or on-site stuff, sorry. So we went to that about when was that? 3 weeks ago? A month ago? I'm looking for Mr. Amanda,
Yeah.
and he's like not paying attention. But we've all seen that movie. Everyone in that theater has seen that movie far too many times. My husband has a podcast, BVS by the Minute. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be drunk. BVS by the Minute, subscribe. Also, Justice League by the Minute, subscribe to that too. But
And then this one also
he's
has a
watched it
Sucker
1,000
Punch by
times.
the Women. Subscribe to that
yes,
too.
Sucker Punch by the Women, also coming
Nana,
coming
you're getting
soon.
drunker.
It's true. Dang it.
Dream.
So he's obviously seen the movie like a million times because he breaks it down minute by minute all the time. And everyone in the theater has seen it before. And still, how many ever years later, we all applauded as soon as Wonder Woman shows up in BVS. I don't know why, but it is such a like.
It's the moment is just
Yeah.
so good.
It's history. That moment is history.
That sounds amazing.
You're right, Lorena. It is.
And it's like that moment with the score as well. Like everything in this, in the universe of Zack is so well thought. To the point where whenever you hear that score, it's synonymous with her, and it's almost like, and with Zack Snyder's Justice League, currently there are things that I can just hear, and I'm like, I know this scene, obviously because I've been watching it on repeat, and it occupies my eyeball. Because, you know, and I've become the merch girl now because, like, my mum is literally worried from school. She's like, I think you're having a weird experience. I'm gonna let you ride it through. But yeah.
But you've had to have a talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League with your mom.
Yeah.
With my whole family, with everyone around me. But when you listen to all of this and you listen to the amount of thought and amount of care that Junkie XL has put into the Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's just amazing. So when his YouTube videos of him, you know, doing, what is it called, Studio Time, I believe his segments are on YouTube. So if you want to have a check and check them out, they're really, really insightful. And just to see how much he puts attention into hi Tiff. So just the attention that he puts into each character. So for example, I was watching, whilst I was getting ready for this, I was watching him talking about the Batman theme and how he's evolved from Batman versus Superman to now how he's like in Justice League, and his character arc in terms of like, he was this really broken down character, and he had that theme that worked well for that type of character. But then he said, because he's evolved in Zack Snyder's Justice League, these are the elements, and these are the tunes, and these are, what did he say? Suits, I think he calls them. I don't know. I'm not a music composer
it's called a suite.
Sweet, sorry. So like, I'm learning his craft through his love for this, and
his terminology and his what everything means
as well. So like recently, the Flash, just like the Wonder Woman score, has been such a great score to like listen to, and it's well loved. The Flash's score now in Zack Snyder's Justice League is just so phenomenal, and the way that he actually puts it together in that video is so great. So if you can check it out, it's really amazing. It's on YouTube, and it's just a testament.
You have to drink because you're promoting Junkie XL, who doesn't need our help, but you have to drink some water.
You, Junkie, this is just Lucasade, so I'll just be more hyped. But yeah, it's everyone who works on any project for Zack has put so much effort and so much thought into this, and anyone who's involved in these projects, I love the universe that he's created and the multiverse that he's created, not through superheroes, because you've got Legends of Gold, which is a completely different tone. It's literally an animated movie about cute owls that with a song by Owl
300
and then you've got
owls.
And then Sucker Punch is another awesome movie that's so empowering to women. Amanda is our resident expert in Sucker Punch. So it's just like, I'm so thankful that your role has been given to us and your performance has been given to us.
Amanda, you're overdoing it with the promo now. You're gonna have to drink a lot.
Well, I'm not going to drink for this one. But I will show you the book that I have that Steven, this was one of my Christmas gifts this year. And I'm 100% going to buy, I just tagged Alex Pardee in a post today. I found 2 prints on his website that I'm obsessed with that would go really well together. So those are my next, treat yourself reward for meeting a goal. I'm gonna I'm gonna
So
treat
this-
myself to
this
some
is why I
art of the
said-
same guy who did the art for Sucker
Yeah.
Punch.
That's cool. We don't have that in Spain. Spain sucks.
The what?
Lorena, try bookdepository.com because they have books from everywhere and they ship for free worldwide.
Book
And they
depository.
usually have them
Yeah,
on
we'll send
sale.
you a link later, Lorena.
I can send
Legitimately,
it to you, actually.
I also will just. This
Oh my
says.
God.
Okay, well, no, this doesn't help Lorena, but this says it's also for sale in the UK.
Don't
Sorry.
worry.
Joey,
Just
Yeah.
off the border.
Joey, you're
Yeah,
grounded.
the UK is not part of Europe anymore, thanks to idiots.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Joey's grounded.
Believe me, I fully agree, and it's been a horrible mess here. I do not agree with any of that result. And if that means people unfollow me or like don't like me anymore, then so be it. But we should have definitely remained. And that's it for politics, because you've just opened up a can of
Look,
worms.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
so
As a
sorry.
citizen from European Union who lives in the UK, I totally agree with you.
Oh, dude, that sucks. I actually have a friend who was born and raised in the UK who now lives in Spain. And like
Nice.
was like fled that whole situation.
I mean, the only bad thing we have in Spain is corruption. But other than that,
That's everywhere.
healthcare and everything is perfect.
Lorena, I
So-
hate to break it to you, but that's everywhere. That's not just a
yeah.
Spanish thing.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
mean,
everywhere.
but here is everywhere. It's like, I mean, it's a shit show. Okay.
Look,
I'm laughing
So-
and
so
not
to
crying.
give
look
you-
back where I am from.
I don't know if
back
we
where
did
I am
this,
from, we
but
still
to give you an
have.
idea,
Back where I am from, we
Oh.
have a communist version of Donald Trump at power. So
that is true. I was just gonna say, can we like go around and say like where we're like from / at right now? Because this is like
Okay.
a very eclectic stream.
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree.
Nana,
Dalma
you
was born and
start.
raised in California, and that's a fake accent. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's not, but I just thought that'd be a good internet rumor to start. I live in Iowa now, but I was born in Indiana, so I'm American and very Midwestern and all that means. And I also coach 2 college speech teams who are heading into nationals this weekend. Yay, good luck.
Oh,
So I'm really excited to be here doing this right now, because outside of this moment in time, it's like hell week, you know, the week before a show. It's the week before a show. So Nana is Czech, but lives in the UK. And we just found out last week, the week before, that the town that I live in was like founded by Czech people. And there's actually a Czech school that's like 150 years old. And I'm going to try to get Nana a job tutoring so she can come live in my basement.
Is that what one of your? Was that what that audio was about?
yeah,
Yes!
yes.
Well,
So
everyone
that's
already
2 of
knows.
us.
I'm born, raised, and stuck in New Jersey, so I'm not doing anything.
But are you northern or southern?
Northern as you can get. I'm literally at the very top tip of the state,
Oh wow.
like only a few miles away from Hyde National Park.
I did a short film in I can't remember, Kearney, New Jersey. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah, that's not
did
too
a sh-
far away.
I did a short film there, and at a certain point, the city authorities started going around saying, "There's been a chemical leak. Please stay in your homes. There's been a chemical leak. Stay in your homes." I thought, this is This
That's
is
pretty-
so
that's pretty
northern
on-
New Jersey.
That
Yeah.
is pretty on brand.
Wait.
That's
Was it
pretty
like
brand.
was there a speaker system set up for this, or were they just walking around with bullhorns? Like,
No, it was vans, like police vans going
really-
around.
it's actually- it
like
depends
the
on-
Chicago Tylenol murder style. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
You
it
know,
depends
now that
on what
you're
county
talking
you're in.
True crime fan.
Now that you're talking about this kind of stuff, it reminds me slightly. I remember because I lived in the States from 2014 to 2016. And then at the end of 2016, Cole came over to visit me in Prague, where I was for a few months before I moved to the UK. And so she was with me for about 2 weeks. And there's this thing that happens every single first Wednesday in a month in Czech Republic. And that is that every single city rings sirens. Like for a couple minutes at noon, there's sirens.
Okay.
And it's like a test. Which literally, is in case of an emergency.
Like air raid.
Cole didn't know that.
Like
And you usually have like these cars and trucks going around, and they literally are, saying into the that this is just a test. This is not a drill. This is just a test. Obviously, they say it in Czech.
Not in English.
So you should have seen her face when that happened. It was
listen, okay. My soul left my body and almost didn't return. I literally thought, like, I was like, fuck, did World War III? No, literally. And this was right before I was returning home, like literally while I was in Czech. I was returning home to Trump and being president in America. So anything could have been going on at that moment. Like I was on worst case scenario watch, and all of a sudden that
and you know what? And I was just so chill about it. And then I was like, she's like, what is that? I'm like, oh, we just have that in case the Russians decide to come again.
Oh, that's so reassuring.
Suddenly I'm thinking about what my dad told me, that when he was in school, you had to stick your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye. I'm like, all right.
No, it was so real. It was so real especially in the 80s after Reagan got in. Like, if something weird happened in the sky, like if a plane looked weird or something, you just automatically assumed, oh, that's it. We're all dead.
We're all done for.
Yeah.
It's over. That's all she wrote. Fat lady singing.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of feeling, but just all the time.
But no,
I have to say, I felt that after Trump was elected as well. It was that kind of existential
100%.
dread.
I felt that for all of December and January of this year. All of November, December, and January of this the most recent year. I was just like, please just get to the finish line. Please just just hold your breath. Nobody move too fast. Don't look him in the eye. Let's make this as smooth as possible.
Yeah, that worked out.
Yeah, then the Capitol happened.
Yeah. You know, I was never as invested in elections ever in any country I've lived in as I was in this one. Like I was watching it for a week.
I feel like people who would never plan to ever come here were invested.
Yeah.
Everyone was invested.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna ask something, but I'm going to ask on private. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'm worried.
Waiting, what's that gonna
I
be?
don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know if I should say it. I have a question.
Okay, you can text it and we can tell you if it's okay to say.
I don't know about.
Is it a horny question, Lorena?
No. I mean, horny maybe one person, but
Me?
in a bad
Is
way.
it acceptable?
No, in a bad way.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go looking for my pearl.
It's true what I've been reading about Joe Biden.
There's
I don't know what you're reading.
I mean, I don't
know what you're reading about him.
I mean, weird stuff.
Oh,
No, the weird stuff. They're grasping at straws. He's actually not bad. He's not really he's pretty good. And they're like, oh, so he doesn't take care of his dog or something. He wore this color, you know. And then they're trying to say weird stuff about him. And they're like, oh.
I have a
It's a
degree
case
in
of-
political science, and it's taught me that none of them are good people. So
No, it's like he's
that's my
decent.
take.
He's decent, but like the shit that they've been putting in the media isn't true.
Okay. So, you said you weren't really into superhero movies, but you were into Beatles and
Thank you,
other-
Fatma.
I just don't know how this conversation is going to go, and I don't really particularly want to
I was like, okay, we're taking a sharp turn.
I'm very interested in knowing what other things you are interested in, because obviously we've all welcomed you in and we'll always have you as part of our fandom, but I'd like to know what your interests are. So the Beatles conventions, or like the movies and TV shows that you like to watch and the things that you're interested in.
Yes.
So I am a fangirl, and so I understand a lot of what I think you guys go through, and so I have a Beatle obsession, and then there's a couple of other. I think it like 60s music, the Kinks and Donovan. Donovan I have seen in person a number of times, and once he was at a Beatle convention in 2005 in Liverpool, and I went to
Donovan's your partner?
No, Donovan is a singer. Donovan is a singer from the 60s.
Oh, sorry.
No. It's
so my
completely
father is a Vietnam veteran. My father's in his 70s, so like I actually grew up on a lot of things that are like not the same content that a lot of my peers grew up on. So you're like Donovan, and I'm like, wow, I haven't heard that name in a while, but like it's on my greatest hits compilation.
So it's understandable that you wouldn't know who he is, because he has been forgotten a lot. If you heard some of his songs, you might recognize them. But I went to a Beatle convention in Liverpool in 2005, and I went and I got his autograph for my dad and for my niece and nephew. And I said, there are 3 generations of Donovan fans in our family. And after I got, and I've met him several times. He doesn't remember who I am, but I've met him several times in New York, once in Paris, and then in Liverpool. But afterwards, I was shaking so much. I try not to shake when I'm in front of the actual object of my obsession. You act like so normal and cool, and then once I was out of the room, I had to sit down. I was shaking so much, and this one guy came over and said, "God, it's not like it's Paul McCartney or something." And I was like, "For me, it is." Oh my God.
I had the exact same reaction to meeting Carrie Fisher.
Oh my God! You said you were into Star Wars.
You're a Star Wars fan, right?
I recently.
When did you meet Carrie Fisher? Oh my God! You have to tell me.
Her last convention. Her last. So it was it was the first time I took my brothers to New York Comic Con. Like we live right there, but we had to get a hotel, get an Airbnb, and we were staying there. And the night before I met her, she literally last minute put up photo ops for Sunday, and I was like, and I remember sitting there and I was debating on it while talking to Nana, and I was like, maybe I should, and then I just got this gut feeling that if I didn't, I wouldn't get the chance again. It was like one of those weird feelings where you knew you had to, and so I didn't have the money for it, but I did it anyway. And so we went, and my one brother, he's a wheelchair user. When we go to the conventions, he uses a wheelchair, but he also uses forearm crutches because he has CP. And he tripped over a wire, because he didn't want to use have his crutches in the picture. So we were walking over to where she is sitting with her dog, and he tripped over a wire. as he's getting posed. So there's this great picture of us all posed around her, and she's got her hand out. Her mom Jedi senses activated instantly, grabs his chest to like keep him from falling, and she's kind of got like an O look on her face. And at first they were like, "Do you want to retake it?" We were like, "No, this is amazing." But like she caught him, and it was like literally the most perfect picture. And then afterwards I gave her a hug and I thanked her for being Princess Leia, and she said I was beautiful. And so I walked, I got my brother back into his chair. We got our shit. We walked away. We got our picture. And I started crying and then jumping up and down. And I was like, oh, just freaking out. And then I just sat on the floor for a minute and I was like, whoa.
I can't process exciting things like that until well after it happens. Like I'm just like, this is awesome. This is great. Yay, I'm having fun. And then afterward I'll be like emotionally devastated. Not necessarily in a sad way, but I'll just be like overwhelmed.
I'm a little of both. Like when I went to meet Ray Fisher, I almost couldn't do it. It was so funny because
could you almost not do it, Amanda? Did you know who Ray Fisher? Like, were you like, I know Ray Fisher before you did a scene with Ray Fisher, or were you like, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks great in that lycra?
Yeah, that's what I said to him. No, I didn't.
Does he smell good? I want to know.
He does. He has great cologne taste.
Yes, I knew it.
I didn't notice that because I was just trying not to faint. But he seemed like a really good guy. I tried to interact with him. Man, I have lots of embarrassing stories. I tried to interact with him between takes, and I went up to him and I went, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Doof, doof, on his arm. And there was like something on his arm. I don't know what it was.
It was probably a sensor for the green screen.
I was like, I've just damaged something really expensive. Oh my God.
You're like, why am I like this?
Word. No, just go back. Just go back to your spot. Don't talk to Ray Fisher.
Oh my God.
He was
What's
very
your
nice.
horoscope? What's your horoscope, Amanda?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh. I don't know why that makes it funnier.
I'm a Scorpio with Libra envy. I want to be balanced like Libras, but I'm so not.
Look, let me tell you one thing, okay? I am a Libra and I'm certainly not balanced.
He really isn't.
Like, you know how it is with the ducks in the row? I don't know where my ducks are. I'm not balanced at all.
I don't know where they are.
Sounds like a weird euphemism, but I don't know where my ducks are.
It was like meeting Ray Fisher was so surreal because of the fact that like I found out the night before it was his birthday, the next day. So I went on to Twitter and I was telling everyone, okay, send us tweets for me to print out and bring him. So I had a folder full of all these fan art and birthday messages from the movement. So I was committed to and also I had already paid to like do the meet and greet and thing. So I was committed, but then as we got closer, I took one look at him and I was like, I can't do this. My heart started going a mile a minute, and my brother.
She kicked her brother out of the wheelchair so she could sit down.
Well, my brother's like, he's like, I can't wheel myself over here. Come on. And I'm just like, I was like, I hadn't had an anxiety attack in a while, and also I'm like. And then we started talking, and it was just like, he was amazing. And then later on in the day, we saw him for photos, and I was like, oh my God, you're tall. You're so tall. And he helped my brother out of his wheelchair, and I guess he forgot his own strength, and he almost yeeted my brother into the next photo op. Because like my brother I like to describe my brother, if he didn't have CP, he would be a football player. It's just his build. It's not his interest. He hates football, but it's his build. Like He's
Nice.
stocky. So I think Ray looked at him and thought, okay, I'm gonna need give it a little tug, give a nice tug. And he took his hand, and he pulled, and he goes, and he goes, oh shit. It was so funny.
Still had that cyborg muscle on him. So
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
You said, Amanda, you said that there was like a whole rack of costumes, right? If one were to dress up as your character for Halloween, say, or cosplay, which outfit do you think they should wear?
It's the waitress outfit. It's got to be the waitress outfit.
Yeah, it's pretty iconic.
She's wearing that at the ATM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
she has her coat on, but she's wearing the waitress outfit.
Yes. Which is why I remember thinking she just got off work and dragged her kids out. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, she went and relieved the babysitter or the neighbor, whoever it happens to be that's looking after the kids, and so, but realizes she needs to get milk or whatever.
When you filmed the scene with the ATM, what were you looking at in real life?
There was an ATM.
Oh, they actually had one.
It had an actual ATM. No, the Gotham street set was insanely real. The diner, when I would walk down the street, it felt like I was walking down the street in New York. The ATM, it was a real ATM. I mean, not a real ATM, but it functioned like a real ATM. Real money came out. I mean, it looked like real money. I don't think it was real money, but yeah, and I don't know if you guys can figure this out, but this is an Easter egg that they put in. I had to do 2 different codes, 2 different PIN numbers, and I think one of them was like 2437. Not entirely sure, but one of them was like a year, 1980 something. And
what was the year of Cyborg?
1980 something. Yeah, I think it was 19. God, it is 1980s. That's when he was introduced.
Really?
1980s. Just 1 second.
Yeah, Fatma.
We're asking the woman who it's like 3 a.m. where she is, and we're like, yeah.
Well, I asked her because that was
I do know
question at the red carpet screening. We got trivia, and
it was also the Justice League question, but the comic.
Oh, Jesse,
that's right.
Says 1982.
Yeah.
It was 1980. Did you? Was it 1980 actually?
1980.
I think it was 1980.
Yeah, it was.
I love it. Oh my god,
that's so cool. Oh my god, I don't know if anybody managed to catch that yet.
That's
you just
awesome.
gave us an Easter egg exclusive.
Now, did they tell you like it was like specific? You have to type in this pin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What nerds?
I would imagine so, because for the moment the camera seems to go in on her hands while she's typing it in. So, wow, I love it.
Now after the stream, I'm gonna go check it.
Yeah,
exactly. I have the movie here.
And there were two different codes. I'm not sure why.
Maybe they
because
weren't
Zach
sure
filmed everything twice, apparently. I'm kidding. He didn't do that, Warner Brothers.
What was the other one? What was the other one?
I don't know, 2437. But that could be like an old pin of mine that I made. It's a while ago. I'm not
214.
I'm not entirely sure. So I don't want to.
I bet it was 214 something. No. Only because 214 was like 214 was the original.
It was the original runtime, 214.
Yeah, there you go.
14.
So I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that was if it was 2147 or 2148 or something. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a while ago, and I'm old, so I'm having trouble remembering. But
you know what? Also, don't blame you because contextually it wouldn't matter at all until now. Like,
Yeah. I wonder if somebody in the chat can check it, like actually turn on the movie and
I'm
check
looking right now, actually, on my phone.
She's watching
We're
the
seeing
movie
the
while
top
she's
of
on the
Cole's head.
stream.
She's
Look
looking
at
at her
this.
phone.
Okay.
No, I just pulled it up so I could check, and it's Amanda. Hi, I'm talking to that lady.
By the way, so since she's looking at the movie, Amanda,
So
you're
how
gonna,
did you
you're
get
gonna
into
appreciate-
acting? Was it Linda Carter? Was Linda? Were you
No,
like,
it
I have to
wasn't.
do this?
No, it wasn't. The biggest influence to me as a kid, because I did start performing as a kid. This is embarrassing, but I don't know why, because she's awesome. Was Julie Andrews?
Yes.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Awesome.
I listened to all of the soundtracks. I tried to recreate all of her movies. And then later I learned that she swears like a truck driver. And then
I love her more.
I know.
Yeah.
In Bridgerton, she does. In Bridgerton, I heard her swear, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never heard that before."
That apparently she has a really dirty sense of humor, and I was like, yes, I want to be her. I want to be exactly like her.
You're in the same universe as Julie Andrews. She's the one. She's in Princess Diaries, right? I don't want to like get it completely wrong.
Yeah.
No, she is. Yeah.
You're in the same universe that Julie Andrews is in because she voiced the Titan in the water in Aquaman. So if you watch Aquaman, her voice is the one who
Right.
she's the one who speaks to Aquaman and helps him survive.
Yeah, you're in the same universe as Julie Andrews.
Yeah, because
Helen Mirren, no?
and basically the reason why she wanted to do it, just to give you like an interesting way of like how amazing she is that she's actually a huge James Wan fan who directs. You do know James Wan in his like horror movie directing and stuff.
Oh my god, she's so cool.
She's a huge fan. So she wanted a way to like be a part of it, so she did it. And yeah, it's the Karathan, the Kraken.
I completely
The
forgot
Kraken. Yeah.
about that, Fatma.
Yeah. So it's so amazing, and you're in the same universe because Aquaman is somewhat linked to Zack Snyder's Justice League as far as
Aquaman literally follows Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
you see Arthur getting on the truck at the end of Justice League, and going off to see his father, and that's how Aquaman starts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro.
Wow.
So there you go. You can say that you're in the same universe.
Oh my god. I'm in the same universe as Julie Andrews. See, I told you I was a fangirl. I mean, you have
Linda
seen
Carter.
Linda Carter, Donovan, Julie Andrews, all quite, random. But wow, that's amazing. And Aquaman, Jason, you're a hoppa. I love that. I love it. I've heard that hoppa is not used as much anymore, that it's not quite as woke as it could be, but I still use it. Because it was Hawaiians that told me I was hoppa. And I'm
Can
gonna
I ask what it means? I've
on.
never heard that before.
It means part Asian or part East Asian.
Oh, okay.
And it used to mean hapa hala meant half white, I think, but now it's come to mean part Asian and anything else. So
I'd actually never heard that before.
Tiger Woods is hapa, for his sins. But
Fascinating.
anyway, it is now past 2:00, and I think I might say bye-bye.
I think I actually
actually,
might have
it's
missed a
actually-
coaching session. So yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, it's actually.
So I think this is a good
to
place
go.
to kind of end this stream.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to make it this long.
Let's
We're glad you did.
So before we
sign off.
log out, this is where you can find Lorena.
Hi,
Only follow if you like to be
Find
horny.
Fatma.
Only follow if you like wholesome stuff.
And this is where you can find Amanda Lauren.
I'm fucking wholesome. You should follow me.
We know.
She's amazing, guys. Follow her. She's the bee's knees.
Is she?
And this is where you can find us. It's kind of easy.
They're
Yay.
fucking
And I still need to make one for Rachel.
You guys are.
There's a handle there of some sort.
Skitch
Rachel at
2021.
Although
Yes.
I'm not 21. A lot of people actually thought that. I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I can see that you're 21, but you're not.
Question: is it Skish or Skish?
Skish.
How do you Skish? Okay.
Yeah, my friend was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, you're
All
squishy.
right, so that's League of Mayhem signing out of this chaotic stream. Thank you so much for being with us, Amanda.
Bye, Amanda.
Pleasure.